Good night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says it is 20 minutes away from 11 o'clock on Wednesday night. An hour later than I had hoped for, but the evening sort of went awry on me. A couple of houses visited and I walked the dog across the road and went in for tea after got delayed, and a few buns and chat, and the clock was against me. Then I had to pick up clothes from the laundry, shirts and such for the tour on Saturday. And I'm an hour putting this together. Changed my mind a couple of times, so I hope it changed for the good. We had 3 today. I thought it was worth taking on the favourite in the first race, the King and Queen's horse. But it got a good ride from Kieran Schumacher out front, and we picked up second, but they don't pay for second unless you have it without the favourite. I should have said that last night if I reverse forecast as to not lose money on the race, because it was 7-4 without the favourite, and I think the forecast paid 5-1. Ran a good race though, but I don't think it's as good as its price tag. I think they paid 475,000 for that. Mostova, they won the race last year, drifted out to 7-1, got placed, so we made a little profit on that to nearly get what we lost on the other one. And then we had a 2-pointer, 7-2 into, I don't know, the return 2-1 or 15-8. So strong money for that overnight. Mr. King. The uphill finish, I was saying I prefer it over 9 or 10 furlongs. A mile in Galway would be lovely for it, but the uphill finish this evening in Naas suited. I was tempted to go to Naas today, but I didn't feel great this morning. A bit of an old head cold. I was out walking without my jacket last night. Until a lot of people said that today. They left windows opened in houses and were frozen this morning. It's June, but it's not June weather. Even though it's sunny enough during the day, the air gets very cold in the evenings. Shout out to a few newcomers on the bus: Carl Frost, Mr. Sheik, Paulie Harris, and Michael Marsh. Michael thought it was a bit of a comedy club instead of a race meeting we were going to. He was trying to bring Dunkel on board, but Mickey D didn't fall for that. Didn't come down in the last shower, Mr. Marsh, but good try. And he had to see the comment to know what I'm relating to. No harm done. Good crack. I like a bit of humour. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's another day. The first race that we look at is a mile 6, good to Ferrum. Now, won't go mental on this, but it's a hands and heels apprentice handicap. Favourite is Story Horse. Went up £5, I think it went up £7 for winning the last day, but it's carrying a £5 penalty, and that's negated then by the £5 claim of Fred Daly. Fred hasn't rode that many horses, never mind winners, but he has been riding for Sir Mark Prescott, and Prescott wouldn't be putting up a dud, would he? I doubt it. If you look at it there, he's only scattering rides, but for Mark Prescott, out of 7 rides, he has 2 wins and a place, so that's not too bad. Where? Oh, to the Lingfield the last day, wasn't it? That's what I was going showing until Neil Callan was riding him. Now, the stepping up and trip, it didn't look like he stayed in Doncaster the previous time, but it's lightly raced, and he was tipping along nicely here. So I'm hoping that he might get out in front, Mr. Fred Daly. If you're watching in, don't be trying to come from the back. to get home. If he runs
Old
out,
Valley Lad and Story Horse now tries to go through and take it up. Goes on the extreme right is Pledge of Honour against the running rail. In blue and white is Party Island. Hill Station behind those as they enter the final furlong. Story Horse and Neil Callan in front by 2 lengths and running up towards the line. It's a first victory in the career for Story Horse, and he's won by 3 or 4.
Normally I'd keep away from them races because some of them, when they don't get the twig across the behind, they sort of say, look, he mustn't want me to do this or that. But he looks sort of a genuine horse that hands and heels might work, because you have Star Legend. That's a decent enough old horse too. Annie Gibson is riding. That was that had a good race in the Chester Plate, the one that Alphonse Legrand. It was all 6th of 16 that day, and then it was second a couple of times. Only ran, it'll be 4 days ago, 5 days from tomorrow. They have that Darius that has more seconds than Hedgehunter had before it won the National. I think it had 8 seconds, Hedgehunter had it. Someone can check that out for me. Many seconds is for the 1, 2, 3, 4. But he needs 2 mile, I think, that he hasn't the toe. If this lad gets out in front, it might be hard pegged back. 15 to 8. I think there's a 94 shot earlier. I did pick to the 5 to 2 at William Hill yesterday. Then we have 2. Where are we going next? We're going to Newcastle. We're going on the times of the races. 4:10. There's a grand little race altogether. Class 2. A mile on the go. An old horse there that won this race for us last year. Well, not an old horse, only a 5-year-old. Latam won this race last year for us. It got up by a nose on the line. But I think the horse that was 4th in that race, or was it 6th? We'll have a look at it in a second. Brunch is a good each-way bet. It was ran 3 times at Newcastle, won twice, and then this race that we see last year. But it hosed up the first couple of times it won. Am I right in saying that? No, I'm looking at what now? I'm looking at Latam. Going to look at last year's race. It comes up on the wide outside. And I actually thought that it won by a head and we won by a nose. But Brunch is the one to look at. I thought it was given at £9 last year and it's getting weight this year. I'll point out both of them.
Be around about 4 lengths or so
here,
off the pace as that pace increases inside the quarter-mile marker. And Spirit Catcher's got the leaders, left the running rail. Isla Kai, Empire State of Mind still racing prominently. And then Al Reb, Symbol of Light's got a clear view of the leaders to the near side. Alligator coming with a run. Latam with a run over on the far side. And it's Spirit Catcher, Latam, Al Reb as they go inside the final few yards. Spirit Catcher, far side Latam, Spirit Catcher.
It's a great call to give it to Latam, and he only won by a nose. But Brunch was given £9. And this year Brunch is getting £3. That's a £12 swing. Where are we here? Oh, we're back here. The favourite is the bottom weight, Elna Jam, but the last time that ran, it was a 1-7 shot, was it? But it cocked his jaw, and it was a horse that I was saying we might take on. Some of Haggis's needs the run first time, and that did as well. But he was 1-7 that day, but he only beat Lissio, and Lissio actually was rated a good few pound inferior. But Brunch last year, it ran first time out in this race when it was carrying top weight. This was it here. It hadn't ran from April, May, June, 2 months off. This year it has a spin, and it was in hard look. Well, I wouldn't call it hard look, but he was only beaten a half a length and a head. Got into lots of bother, ran on to the end. So with that run under his belt, I thought he was an each way bet. Some of them are paying 4 places. I know Latam won it for us last year, but I was disappointed with the way he ran the last day in Newbury. after being second in the Lincoln, which was a very feeble sort of an effort, and he had won the same race last year, hadn't it? No, it hadn't ran it last year. It had. He'd been second to Jimi Hendrix before he won this race, after winning the Lincoln, and second this time. But it ran. I just thought that day, I said, "Jeez, since he's changed trainer, he could prove me wrong tomorrow and beat Brunch." But I thought Brunch to take on the Fav in it. Each way bet 6-1, 7-1 in places, and then at Newmarket there's a grand little race. That Ararat, it's his first time out this year for David Simcock, batting 8% in the last 14 days, 2 out of 25, so not exactly pulling up 3 stumps. Won at Newmarket last year, but it needed the run. First time it ran in 2022, and it needed the run last year. Needed 2 runs before it won at 75. So I'm hoping it might need the run this year. We're going with Toimy Son. This ran twice in Goodwood, and I'd blame the jockey for leaving it too far back and too far getting it going. When it came to England from France, it was rated 108. It's down now £19. It's off 89, isn't it? 89. So 19 pounds. That's a fair old drop. But it was behind Wild Tiger, and Wild Tiger went on to win the Royal Hunt Cup, and that got first run on it, and it came from the clouds to finish second. This is it, with Royal Tiger winning.
In a pocket towards the inside is Street Kid. Caraggio tries to unwind down the wide outside. Abel Kane is looking for racing.
Come on.
Room also looking for room is Aurora Dawn right towards the inside down the wide outside. B Frank has got clear sailing, racing down towards the final furlong, and Wild Tiger strikes. Wild Tiger goes on by nearly 2 lengths from a long way back. Toimy Son is eating up the ground down the wide outside, but Wild Tiger got first run and racing up towards the line is Sheen Murphy, and Wild Tiger in front. Toimy Son up for second, and in third came B Frank.
The winner won the Royal Hunt Cup of £5 higher, to give a bit of strength to that for him. Change of jockey. Benio de la Sayet is in the plate tomorrow, but he's not exactly on fire either. I think he is the last 14 days. 1 out of 30. Doesn't inspire me with confidence, but if he just doesn't leave him back as fair the next day, he should have a shot at it tomorrow. If that goes out to 9-2 or 5-1 back at each way, they're paying 4 places in it. So it could be Friday morning before I see ye again. Maybe tomorrow night, but unlikely. Bash the bookies, over and out.